The Kansas City Chiefs are set to begin Phase 3 of their offseason program on Monday, May 20th. And by the time you guys are watching this video, it might already be May 20th. So look out for the OTA highlights. I will be covering the entirety of OTAs on this channel. But with that being said, it's going to be a very fun period. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs have already completed their voluntary meetings and some of the drills as well during rookie minicamp, introducing their new players to the playbook and getting each other familiar with everyone around the team. Now, the team will also participate in voluntary workouts called OTAs. Like I said, those beginning tomorrow, and those don't really include padded practices or physical contact, but they do serve as a massive opportunity for some of these young guys to transition into a bunch of the veterans, right? So those are going to be very, very important practices. We'll start to see guys stand out a little bit. Again, take those with a grain of salt because no pads or contact or anything like that. However, I did want to break down, before we get into Phase 3 and OTAs, I did want to break down a couple of big things that are going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, over the last couple of days here, Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice have been getting together for, workouts together. They want to get to know each other. They want to, get familiar with each other because they will be the top two wide receivers of this team heading into next season. You also talk about a guy like Xavier Worthy. This is a brand new wide receiver core here for 2024, and the one knock of 2023's team was the wide receiver room. How good was that, core going to be? Yeah, well, guess what? This core is so much better. They won the Super Bowl last year, and now they have a much better, a much more versatile, and a much more dynamic offense, adding Hollywood Brown, adding Xavier Worthy, still having Rashee Rice, Kadarius Toney, and Sky Moore, Justin Watson as well. I'm excited to see how far this team goes, especially when you look at their offense last season. They did struggle in some areas, ranking number 14 in points per game, but, they were actually really efficient when it mattered the most. And then defensively, the Chiefs are everything you want in a team defensively. I mean, they have some really good players. Getting Chris Jones back here, you still have guys like Drew Tranquil and Nick Bolton and Leo Chanel. The DB room looks really good with Trent McDuffie and Joshua Williams, Brian Cook, Justin Reed. So very happy with what their defense looks like. Basically just coming right back, adding a couple of safeties in the rookie draft and Jaden Hicks and Kamal Hayden. But man, I'll tell you one thing right away. When you look at some of these highlights, when you look at some of these guys getting to work on the field in terms of the Rashee Rices and the Hollywood Browns, man, these guys are going to be extremely dynamic. And I'm really just excited to see how Patrick Mahomes can take Hollywood Brown to the next level. When you look at Hollywood and what he does very well, it's just getting open, his speed to get behind the defense. Now you have two burners, right? Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. And then you have that big body, go up and get it type of guy in Rashee Rice. Dude, they're so much more dynamic than they've been in a very long time. And this team could even be better with, better compare that Tyreek Hill team. Listen, I don't want to compare Tyreek Hill to Xavier Worthy, but the speed on this team is insane. Now, real quickly, before we get back into the video and break down that one last big piece of news surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs, comment down below, who are you most excited to see during OTAs, and who do you think will have the biggest impact, on this team going into next season as maybe a newcomer, right? Is it a guy like Xavier Worthy? Is it a guy like Kingsley, who could be in position to be a starter depending on what happens with Wanya Morris? Or is it a guy like Jared Wiley, a guy like Louis Z. Zamet, who is coming over from rugby, one of the biggest rugby stars in the world, now learning under Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, what a perfect spot for him to land. Or is it a guy like defensively, Kamal Hayden, Jaden Hicks, two guys who have been really, really good throughout rookie minicamp, and Steve Spagnuolo, man, he is so excited for some of these guys. So let me know, who are you guys most excited to see throughout OTAs? But with that being said, let's jump right back into the video and talk about one of the other big pieces of news that happened right before OTAs. Make sure you guys join the family, and let's get right back into it. I also want to break down a couple of other big-time news, man. Wanya Morris was involved in some sort of incident with the police, and, I think he's out of jail on bond right now, but obviously some things going on there. I feel like the Chiefs have had such a unlucky offseason with Rashee Rice and all the, things that's went on with him, Wanya Morris, and I believe someone else was in the car with them during that. I don't remember who it was. But the good news is, if Wanya Morris isn't available to, play, right, I do think they have a really solid guy here, or a really solid pick in Kingsley. Not even going to try to say his second or his last name here, but he was a second-round draft pick. They have a ton of hope. But at the end of the day, I think it's just precautionary. Morris and Godric, they'll be fine. Nothing's going to happen. They'll be here for OTAs. They'll be here for mandatory minicamp and training camp as well. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. But instead, just be excited, man. This Chiefs team is a lot better than they were last season, in my opinion anyway, in terms of offensive scheme, dynamic ability, and also versatility. This team's going to be really, really scary, really fun to watch. And if they can stay healthy, they're going to be right there knocking on the door for back-to-back-to-back championships with Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown, right? Rashee Rice. Let me know what you guys think, man. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. Like I said, I will be covering the entirety of this year's OTA period, not only OTAs, and trust me, videos out tomorrow with news, notes, highlights, but also mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you guys can think of. Join the family, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.